we give them, we invest a lot in their training and their development. And so, in doing so, that kind of helps us to figure out where they're going to be best suited. So, it's not always the best idea to say, I'm going to hire a new front desk CA, and you advertise that and you put that out there to put that position or have that position filled. And then you get that person in and they're really more of a back office type of person, or maybe a therapy person, or even a side desk person. So we spend a lot of time doing training, developing, and really getting to know that person before we say this is kind of the role or the direction that we're going to put you in. So that's sort of how we get started as far as finding the right person.
Hang on just a minute.
Sure.
You said something, and I'd like you to explain briefly, what do you mean by motivational DNA?
So we like to look, does that person have a personality that is outgoing? Does that person tend to be more internal? Does that person go with the flow very well? Do they not? So we have a way to take an exam sort of, or a quick test that tells us, what drives that person and what motivates that person.
Okay, so you're talking something like, if this person is a worker or producer,
correct,
compared to I need people.
Yes.
I want to have one-on-one contact with people. I have communication skills.
Yes. Do they
utilizing
connect well?
That? And then somebody that's, I don't like change.
Yes.
I like, tell me what to do,
structure.
Leave that, the structure is there. But then that other person that likes to do different things gets kind of bored in the same, might not always complete a task because they want to move on.
Move on to the next one.
So you need to know that.
Yep. So that's something that we look at before we make that final choice.
I'm going to step into something here that we're talking about, finding that right person. How do you advertise for that? How do you advertise for your jobs if you don't, in your head right now, don't have that chief position that you're looking for?
We just do a general advertisement, as we're looking for a chiropractic assistant. So we don't necessarily funnel that into a specific area. And then when that person is interviewed, we let that person know, these are the job descriptions. And so we kind of give them a wide variety and sort of find out if they're okay floating from one position to the next.
Okay. And that can take you a little bit of time to.
It does. Yeah. It's not always a science. Oh, I'm going to hire this person. They're going to come in and they're going to be right here in that position.
Yeah.
We've found over the years that doesn't always work.
Ah, interesting. Well, that makes sense because
we need to get to know them and how they develop and how they learn and, how they interact with our patients.
And let's say if they are therapy area type personality, but you already have a good therapist in there, is that going to eliminate them from that position? Or maybe you move your therapist? How do you handle that side?
I wouldn't say you want to eliminate a good employee. I think that you can help develop and groom them to fit into certain positions. There are some positions, I would say the front desk is probably primarily the biggest one.
Yeah.
The front desk is not for everybody. There's a lot of, I won't say confrontation, but you have to be a stronger personality to be at the front desk. You have to be okay to say no to people sometimes, or not be able to give people exactly what they're wanting. So you don't necessarily want to have someone that might have a quieter or meeker type personality versus somebody who has a strong and a little bit more bold personality.
That's good insight. Definitely. So, because I agree in there that meeker person, you have to be able to do things. You have to be able to collect.
Yes.
And luckily today, so often, so many offices, that's already automatic set up. It's done. It's just a routine. But at the same time, you've got people, and can't kid ourselves, we got people that their accounts get behind. You got to be able to step in there and say, hey, we need to correct this. How do we correct this? And get an agreement with the patient.
That's correct.
Okay, good. So, Jan, with that, you're a manager. I said that earlier, of a very, very busy, successful office, and you're running these ads, and you're responsible, and you're a major part of your hiring. You have a big voice in your hiring,
Yes,
don't you?
I sure do. Yes.
Okay. And not everybody gets that opportunity, but if you're putting I think I should say, if you're putting a manager in your office, then that manager has to have that voice, because how do you do that? How do you manage all these departments and keep the whole office flowing? And what obstacles have you run up against?
Well, I think personally, I have to know when I need to ask for help. I think that that's a vital part of it. I've been at the office I'm at for 10 years, but that still doesn't mean that I can't learn something new or grow myself. So I try to, in my own staff and in our own office, I try to instill from the beginning that it's okay to make a mistake. I just need you to admit your mistake, own your mistake, and then let's figure out how we're going to fix it. Doesn't mean I won't not help you fix it, anything like that. So I think that developing as far as myself and everyone else, and letting them know it's okay. We're all going to grow. We're all going to learn. I did have an office that I mentor, that the office manager came to me, and she had been having some trouble training a staff member, and we always have to remember that not everybody learns at the same pace. And this office manager particularly learns at a very fast pace and a very intense, learning type regimen. And the person she was training necessarily did not. So she recognized within herself that she needed help. And I think that that is a very valuable asset to know when you need help yourself, even as the management position. And so she came to me and she said, what can I do, or what would you do if you've shown somebody how to do something 3 or 4 times and they're still not getting it? And so we kind of went through that. You maybe you need to tell them a different way. Maybe you need to give a little more grace. Maybe you're intimidating that person and you don't realize it. And so I think that that's part of it, to kind of keep that centered within yourself.
Yeah, just because you're the manager doesn't mean you know all of it.